either finding some way of self-medicating, some way of finding comfort, some way of settling things for themselves. But it doesn't work out because there's physical issues associated with all that.
So you're a real advocate, I see.
Oh yeah. I think having lived for so long without knowing made me kind of brave when I when I had the tools, when I became aware of what's going on here. The other thing that ADHDers really feel strongly is an injustice driver. If there's injustice, do you want to know who's going to argue about it?
Yeah, true.
And so part of the reason I do what I do is because I've lived through so much of that injustice, so much of difficulty at work that could have been sorted out if I knew what was going on and I knew how to speak up for myself. Um, if other people knew how they could support me, because I'm quite sure everybody in that situation really would like the best outcome.
Sure.
Um, but unless everybody knows, where the other one's coming from, you're not going to find a middle ground. And so now what I'm able to do through therapy and through mindfulness is get people to really get to know themselves, understand where their patterns come from, what it gives them, but also what it costs them, so that they can make better choices for themselves, so that they can be more reliable for themselves.
Yeah, and I used to be someone who really cowered to any authority figure, even in my young adulthood, as having supervisors and whatnot. And I feel like they could almost smell the fear, and it would make things worse. I would get my ADHD symptoms would exasperate, and I would ask so many questions that put me in this pigeonholed me as like someone who just didn't know that much. Not stupid, but girl didn't study her craft, or I don't know. I just felt like that a lot of the time. They don't understand that I am intelligent. They'll say things that just sounds so uneducated, or why? Why am I doing this? Is it fear? Is it? I've learned a lot about myself through the process. And that's why when I see someone else struggling, I think another thing that we have is a real gift for empathy. One person I see sometimes, I don't want to say where, but she's always worried about what people think. And some people are like, will say things about her. I'm like, no, she's really awesome. And I always tell her, like, when she worries about something, oh, I hope I didn't offend you. I say, trust me, I'm unoffendable at this point. And the fact that she would say that is so humble of her in the first place. Like, trust me, you're not, you're fine.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm used
That's
to a lot of
that's a
rejection.
clear thing that happens to ADHDers, right? Because we're having to measure up the whole time, our value starts becoming an external thing instead of internal.